My name's Eric. I'm 29, and up until recently, I thought I was a pretty decent brother. I wasn't exactly winning any Brother of the Year trophies. I'm not the type to remember every birthday or send long, heartfelt texts, but when it came to being there for my family, I did my part. I was the guy who always offered to help move furniture, pick someone up from the airport at 5 a.m., or pretend to like whatever suspicious meat my uncle throws on the grill at family BBQs. That kind of reliable. So when my younger sister, Amanda, 27, got engaged last year, I was genuinely happy for her. Really? She'd been dating this guy, Caleb, for about 2 years, nice enough guy. No red flags, except maybe his man bun, which he treats with more affection than I've ever seen him show to any living creature. But hey, not my relationship. If Amanda loved him, then so be it. Amanda and I were never super close. She's always had a flair for drama, and I prefer keeping things chill. But family is family, right? So when she called me last summer all excited, going on about venues and flowers and how it's going to be the most magical day ever, I told her I'd help however I could. Which, apparently, in wedding language, translates to, I'll give you money. She didn't even hesitate before she asked, Eric, do you think you could help us with the venue? She said, voice syrupy sweet over the phone. It's just, Caleb and I are kinda tight on funds. And I remember you said your bonus came in. Now, in her defense, I had gotten a bonus. I work in tech, boring software stuff. So occasionally I get those rare unicorn months where your company realizes they've been underpaying you and throw a chunk of guilt money your way. I hadn't made any grand plans for it yet. So, feeling generous, I told her sure. I'd cover the venue. Not the whole wedding, just the venue. It was a nice one too. One of those rustic bar meets luxury lodge setups with fairy lights and just enough wood paneling to make everything look expensive but still Instagram friendly. I put down a sizable deposit and paid for the rest a few weeks later. About $8,000 total. I didn't even blink. Told her to enjoy her day and that I didn't need credit or public acknowledgement or anything. In hindsight, I should have asked for a receipt. Things were cool for a while. She'd occasionally send me text updates about the color of the bridesmaid dresses, sage green, because it's like neutral but still alive, and I'd respond with thumbs up emojis because I'm not emotionally equipped to discuss linen swatches. My involvement was minimal, and I liked it that way. But then came the twist. About 3 months before the wedding, I noticed Amanda's tone shift. She was shorter with me in texts. Didn't invite me to her bridal shower, which she claimed was just for the girls, even though her fiancé's cousin Jared, who's definitely a guy, was there. Thanks, Instagram. When I asked about my tux or whatever I was supposed to wear, she ghosted me for a week and then replied, oh, we'll let you know soon, with a winky face, which is never a good sign. Then 2 months before the wedding, I got a call. Not from Amanda. From my mother. Eric, she said, in that voice she uses when she's about to say something insane but wants to sound like it's completely reasonable, your sister has decided to keep the wedding small. Okay, I said. How small? Well, just very immediate family. Like, very. I blinked. Mom, I'm literally immediate family. There was a pause. She just feels like you two haven't really been close lately. I wanted to laugh, but I was too confused. So she's uninviting me? She's not uninviting you, Mom said carefully. She's just focusing on people who are part of her journey right now. Her journey? What is this? The Bachelor. She just doesn't want any negative energy on her day. I was speechless for a full 10 seconds. Negative energy? I bought the freaking venue. When I reminded my mom of this tiny $8,000 detail, she got weirdly defensive. Well, that was a gift, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. It was help. For a wedding I was going to be part of. Well, it's still happening. And she really hopes you'll be supportive, even from afar. Supportive. From afar. Like a dad on a business trip Skyping into a piano recital. Needless to say, I didn't take it well. But I didn't scream or cause a scene. I said, okay. Just like that. Okay. I didn't argue. Didn't beg. Didn't send a passive-aggressive Facebook post or call my uncle the wine. Instead, I called the venue. Now, this is the part where I should mention I'd been smart. The venue was under my name. My credit card. My booking. Amanda just picked the place. So I called the lovely owner, a woman named Trish, who remembered me right away because I was the only client who didn't make a Pinterest board. I asked her, very politely, what the cancellation policy was. She told me I had until 30 days before the wedding to cancel for a full refund. Perfect. I told her I'd be in touch. In the meantime, I went shopping. Not for a suit, but for flights. I figured if I was going to miss the magical day, I might as well have my own. I found a great deal on a solo trip to Iceland. I'd always wanted to see the northern lights, and the dates lined up almost perfectly with Amanda's wedding. 1 month before the big day, I canceled the venue booking. Trish sounded a little surprised but professional. I didn't give her any dramatic reason, just told her plans had changed. She apologized and mentioned she already had another couple on the wait list who'd be thrilled to take that date. I wished her well, hung up, booked my trip. I didn't say a word to my family. Now, I should have known the storm was coming, but I kind of hoped Amanda had backup plans, or at least the decency not to implode. But no, Amanda doesn't plan. Amanda assumes. So, about a week before the wedding, I start getting frantic calls from an unknown number. Turns out, it's Caleb's mom. Eric, she hisses into the phone. What did you do? I blink. I'm sorry. Who is this? This is Lori, Amanda's future mother-in-law. They showed up at the venue for the final walkthrough, and, surprise, it's booked. By someone else. I lean back on my couch, watching a rerun of a baking show and sipping a smoothie. Yeah, I canceled it. You what? I wasn't invited. I figured you didn't need my money either. Do you realize what you've done? Oh, definitely. And that was just the beginning. I got a barrage of texts from Amanda, then from Mom, then from Dad, who normally only texts me memes of dogs wearing sunglasses. Suddenly everyone wanted to talk to me, but I didn't answer, because I was on a plane to Iceland. So I touched down in Iceland, cold air crisp on my face, fully layered in smug satisfaction and a very warm jacket. If you've never been, Iceland in the fall is like stepping into a live-action screensaver. Everything is either glowing green with moss or steaming like a cursed swamp. I booked myself into this cozy little cabin near Vic, complete with a hot tub and a view of the black sand beaches. The minute I arrived, I set my phone on Do Not Disturb and committed myself to two things: drinking overpriced hot chocolate and being the pettiest brother in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, I know what you're thinking. Eric, surely you didn't actually mock them while they were scrambling, right? Oh yes. Yes, I did. But I did it tastefully, artistically, like an emotional Instagram influencer with a vengeance. Day 1. I posted a picture of me standing next to a geyser with the caption, "When the family drama erupts, but you choose peace." Hashtag blessed, hashtag nature heals. No tags, no names, just vibes. But you better believe Amanda saw it. She always lurks. Day 2. I sent a photo directly to the family group chat, which I had been silently removed from 3 weeks earlier. Yes, removed, without a word, with a picture of my breakfast, smoked salmon on toast, some weird local yogurt thing, and fresh blueberries. I captioned it, "Enjoying my $8,000 breakfast. Hope everyone's planning going smoothly." Within 30 seconds, Mom texted me privately, "Eric, that's not funny. Your sister is devastated." I replied, "She's devastated? How do you think my bank account felt when I was cut from the guest list like a reality show contestant?" She left me on read. Day 3. Amanda finally broke the silence with a text that genuinely made me laugh out loud. It read, "You are seriously ruining my life." This was supposed to be my day. And because I couldn't resist, I sent back a photo of me in the hot tub with a drink and a serene mountain view. Caption, "Still your day. I'm just celebrating from a safe emotional distance," heat emoji. She didn't respond after that. Now, while I was soaking up geothermal peace, back home things were, apparently, melting down faster than a wax figurine at a bonfire. My cousin Mia, bless her soul, is the family double agent. She's the only one who stayed neutral and occasionally sends me play-by-plays when drama unfolds. Mia texted me updates in secret like she was reporting from the front lines. So Amanda's trying to book a new venue, but everything is full or stupid expensive. Your mom tried to guilt-trip a local church into hosting the wedding. It's a hard no. Caleb's losing it. His mom is suggesting they just do a backyard wedding, and Amanda said she'd rather die barefoot in traffic. So that's where we are. They tried to rebook the original venue. Trish told them it's taken by a couple from Montana. Amanda cried. At this point, I was floating in a glacial lagoon like a sentient marshmallow, completely zen. Now let me pause here and just say, I did consider feeling guilty. I really did. But then I remembered the phone call. The one where I was told I was no longer part of Amanda's journey. The way my mom tried to paint it like I was a threat to the energy of the event, as if I were some sort of karmic bedbug. And suddenly, the guilt? It packed its bags and left. Meanwhile, Amanda's stress had reached full tornado mode. Apparently, she started calling around to old high school acquaintances trying to find someone with a nice enough backyard or barn or abandoned warehouse, anything. One of them offered a literal horse farm with actual horses. Amanda declined because the smell would ruin the ambience. Eventually, my dad broke radio silence and texted me directly. "Son, I know you're hurt, but this is your sister's wedding. Be the bigger person." I replied, funny how I was too small to be invited, but suddenly big enough to fix everything. He didn't text back. I imagine he was mid-facepalm. Anyway, by day 5 of my trip, things hit a new low. Mia told me Amanda tried to book a pop-up tent in their backyard with some rented chairs, but the only available tent was bright neon green and came with inflatable walls, like the kind you see at a cheap birthday party. She refused. Caleb suggested they just elope. Amanda cried again. And me? I went on a glacier hike. Posted a video of me reaching the summit, looking over the vast icy landscape. The caption? Some people climb toward love. Others get uninvited from the wedding and climb toward peace. Either way, views are nice. Hashtag solo summit that one really ruffled feathers. I knew because the next day I got an email. An actual email. Not a text, not a DM, an email from my mom. Subject line, apology needed. It was a full-blown letter. For paragraphs. The highlights? Amanda is inconsolable. You've embarrassed the family. We just wanted to keep the event intimate. You've made your point. Now please make things right. And my favorite, it's not too late to fix this. I didn't respond. Instead, I posted a story of me trying fermented shark, which smells like expired foot, and nearly gagging. Caption, still not the worst thing I've been served this year. So, I get back home a few days after what would have been the wedding, feeling refreshed, mildly frostbitten, and spiritually 10 pounds lighter. Iceland was a dream, a hot springs, midnight sun, no screaming relatives. It was like a detox from the family drama Olympics. I was half expecting a SWAT team made entirely of bridesmaids to tackle me at the airport, but surprisingly, the place was quiet. Too quiet. No welcome back texts. No awkward guilt calls. Nothing. Which, of course, meant the storm was just brewing. The first thing I did when I got home was message Mia. So, what did I miss? Mia texted, "Oh boy. Are you sitting down?" I replied, "Yup." Mia texted, "Amanda's wedding was officially canceled. Like, no dress, no aisle, no legally binding anything. Caleb's parents pulled funding. There was a massive fight. Caleb and Amanda are on a break. Also, your mom thinks you cursed them." I had to reread that a few times to let it all sink in. Apparently, after they failed to find a replacement venue, Amanda and Caleb opted for a last-minute city hall wedding just to get the thing over with. But here's the kicker. They showed up late. Not like, oops, we hit traffic, late. Like an hour and a half late. They missed their scheduled appointment. The clerk had already gone home. You can't make this up. So the backup to the backup to the backup plan was to do a cute backyard ceremony at Amanda's friend Ashley's place. And by cute, I mean Ashley had 3 folding chairs, a golden retriever with an attitude, and one of those home goods signs that said, "Love you more." Apparently, mid-ceremony, the neighbors started mowing their lawn. Loudly. Amanda screamed. The golden retriever ran off with the veil. And Ashley's toddler started crying because he thought the officiant was a wizard. To be fair, the guy did wear a top hat. Caleb's parents, who'd already dropped several grand on catering that was now going uneaten in someone's garage, hit their breaking point and called it all off. And since the wedding never technically happened, neither did the marriage. Yup. So naturally, this is all my fault. By the time I walked into my parents' house the next day to talk things out, I was prepared for some passive-aggressive tension. Maybe a cold shoulder. Possibly a disappointed head shake. What I didn't expect was to be greeted like I was a wanted criminal. Mom opened the door with a look that said, "I've mentally disowned you," while Dad stood awkwardly behind her, holding a mug that probably said #1grandpa, despite not being a grandpa yet. Amanda was there, too, sitting on the couch. Swollen eyes. Blanket over her shoulders like she was recovering from a shipwreck. Caleb wasn't with her, which probably explained the half-eaten tub of cookie dough on the coffee table and the faint sound of a breakup playlist humming from her phone. No one said hi. I stepped inside like I was entering a hostage negotiation. Mom was first to speak. "We need to talk." "Cool," I said, because I'd been wondering how I ruined a wedding I wasn't invited to. She didn't laugh. Amanda sniffled dramatically, then croaked, "You could have just let us use the venue." You didn't have to be so vindictive. Vindictive? I raised my eyebrows. I just stopped financing an event I wasn't welcome at. I didn't hex it. Dad cleared his throat. Son, the way you handled this, it felt spiteful. Oh, so me being uninvited was fine, but me deciding not to spend thousands of dollars on a party I couldn't attend? That's where the line is. Mom jumped in. You blindsided us. You canceled the venue without saying a word. Do you know how hard we scrambled? I wasn't invited, Mom, I repeated, trying very hard not to yell. Let me put it in perspective. Imagine getting kicked out of a restaurant, then being asked to still pay for everyone's meal. Would you do it? Amanda interrupted. You always make everything about you, Eric. I turned to her slowly. Amanda, you kicked me out of your wedding because you wanted to focus on people who were part of your journey. I wasn't even allowed to bring a +1 emoji to the guest list. She folded her arms. It was supposed to be my special day, and now I don't even know if it's going to happen. Didn't happen, I corrected. Past tense. She glared at me like I'd kicked her puppy. I sighed and sat down. Look, I didn't do any of this to sabotage you. I just took a step back. You drew the boundary. I respected it. But you don't get to exile someone and then demand their loyalty. Dad, ever the peacekeeper, mumbled, can't we just move on? The damage is done. Amanda sniffed again. The damage is done. And Eric's just sitting here acting like it's all no big deal. You mean like how you acted when you uninvited your brother from your wedding and expected him to still foot the bill? Silence. Mom pursed her lips. We didn't think you'd actually cancel it. Right. You thought I'd keep paying. Like an invisible ATM with no emotional needs. I leaned back and crossed my arms. Well, surprise. The conversation sort of fizzled out after that. No one apologized. No one really changed their stance. I left about 20 minutes later, refusing the leftover Costco muffins Mom offered me as some kind of truce. But it wasn't over. Because later that night, Amanda made a post. Oh yeah, the clause came out. A long, thinly veiled Facebook post. One of those vague, passive-aggressive essays written like a bad spoken word poem. Sometimes the people you expect to be there for you let you down in ways you never imagined. I've learned who truly supports me, and who only shows up when it benefits them. I didn't respond, but I did post a photo from Iceland. Me, smiling in front of a waterfall, holding a coffee cup. Caption, grateful for the people who actually invite me into their lives. Hashtag no refunds, hashtag no regrets. Petty? Maybe, but fair. A week later, I get a call from Caleb. I don't answer at first. I mean, the guy had about as much backbone as a cooked noodle during the entire wedding meltdown, but he follows it up with a text. Hey man, just wanted to talk. Things got messy. I think we both know that. I finally call him back the next day, more out of curiosity than anything else. Turns out, he and Amanda are officially on pause, which sounds like something you do to a Spotify playlist, not a relationship. He tells me things got complicated. She's been emotional, volatile, and hard-to lately, which I'm fairly certain is Caleb speak for, I want out, but I'm scared of what she'll do to my PS5. He tells me that after the backyard wedding fiasco, Amanda flipped. At everyone. Caleb's parents, her friends, the dog, yes, she yelled at the golden retriever. Then she apparently took a break from social media, which, for Amanda, is like a monk taking a vow of silence, and has since been spiraling in a tornado of, why is everyone against me, vibes. Caleb, surprisingly calm, says, I don't blame you, by the way. I would have done the same thing. I just kind of nod to myself. Because, yeah, same. So that was the last I heard from him. I assume he's off somewhere regrowing his spine. Or maybe moving in with Jared, the cousin who wasn't even supposed to be at the bridal shower. Who knows? As for Amanda, she's been quiet. No more subtweets. No more tearful voicemail ambushes. Occasionally, she'll post a selfie with a suspiciously long caption about healing and rediscovering herself, but that's standard breakup protocol. She and I haven't spoken since the couch confrontation, and honestly, I'm okay with that. My parents tried to play that we're still a family card a few times, invited me to Sunday dinner, sent me a couple of those chain texts that end with send this to 5 people who love you, but I haven't gone over since. I'm not holding a grudge. I'm just done playing the emotional ATM for people who treat me like a backup dancer in their one-woman Broadway production. Mia and I are closer than ever now, though. We joke about the wedding saga like it's a canceled Netflix show, full of drama, poor character development, and an ending nobody saw coming. Sometimes we reenact lines from the family intervention scene over a drink, complete with dramatic pauses and fake crying. Therapy, but cheaper. And me? I took the leftover money I'd been saving for a wedding gift and signed up for a photography course. Turns out I kind of have an eye for it. Iceland did that to me. Being alone, standing under northern lights with nothing but silence and snow, it shifts something in you. Helps you realize what matters. I'm not angry. Not bitter. I'm not waiting for an apology, and I sure as heck don't want back into Amanda's wedding planning spreadsheet. I just moved on. They got what they wanted, a wedding without me. And I got what I needed, peace, clarity, and one heck of a story. No regrets. Except maybe the fermented shark. That stuff was awful.